It's Sasikala conviction in just a week after she made her bid to be the Chief Minister of the state. The Supreme Court ruling in the disproportionate assets case, sending her to Bengaluru prison, and she started this morning from Poise Garden around 11:40 when she left her residence and then went to Jayalalitha's memorial at Marina Beach, taking an emotional oath, paying a floral tribute. Many of the party workers lining outside her residence and Sasikala greeting them with folded hands as she makes way to face her fate, which is Bengaluru prison. She went to MGR's memorial where she meditated for a while, and now she is on the National Highway 48, 350 kilometers from Chennai. Around 5 p.m. is when she's expected to land at Bengaluru Central Prison. Around 2:30 p.m. her convoy did pass through Kanchipuram, where there is Golden Bay Resort. Remember, India Today has now been tracking her journey very closely as Sasikala is set to serve remainder of her 4-year term at Bengaluru Prison. Interestingly, at Bengaluru Prison, not many lined up. Not a replay of 2014, the kind of support that Jaya enjoyed with her cadres. Take a listen in to reports filed by Network reporters.
As we can see right now, there are thousands of people over here, AIADMK cadres, who want to take a glimpse of Ms. Sasikala. She is just like nodding to everybody and she's leading over there. The path is being cleared and there she goes. There she goes, as you can see over there. She is going, like, you can see her face right now. She just, we could see that her eyes are a bit teary as well. She is congratulating her cadres and she is on her way. Apparently, the last decision she has taken before leaving for Bengaluru is to make her nephew TTV Divakaran as the Deputy General Secretary of the party. And I also have to mention here, is that this is her decision, not just Mr. TTV Divakaran. Along with him, Dr. Venkatesh, another relative of hers, has also been reinstated to the party. With camera person Shiv Prashant, Pramod Madhav in Chennai for India Today.
This is the convoy of AIADMK leader, General Secretary VK Sasikala Natarajan passing by en route from Chennai to Bangalore. You can see AIADMK party workers, slogans here, right here is the car, sitting in front, VK Sasikala holding her hands in a namaskar. The entire group of AIADMK people, police, an ambulance, everyone following by. Now she's going to surrender at the Karnataka court. The court has asked her to surrender today. We'll see her go there, surrender. She's made a list for a special cell as well and offered it. Now the demands, whether they're going to be accepted or not, is unknown. But we're going to follow her and we're going to see what happens. With camera person Dinesh Lal, this is Shalini Lobo in Chennai for India Today.
Sasikala en route to Bengaluru prison, but she has left the party with the Manargudi family, because you have TTV Dinakaran, who's been by his aunt's side since Jaya's demise, who's now taken over as the Deputy General Secretary of AIADMK. Son-in-law S. Venkatesh also being inducted in the party. But the remaining question is, who forms the power? If the AIADMK, if the M stands for Manargudi Mafia, as the detractors have named the Manargudi family, will there be more defections from the Sasikala camp to the O Paneerselvam camp? Right now, the numbers are this way. You have at least 10 MLAs who are supporting OPS, and now news is coming in. Highly placed sources who are looking closely at the unfolding situation in Tamil Nadu have indicated to India Today that the composite floor test option has now been pushed to the back burner by the governor. The most likely possibility is that Governor Rao will invite Sasikala's nominee, Palaniswami, to take oath and then prove his majority on the floor of the House. He could be given 24 hours, he could be given a week to do so. The reason for the delay seems to be that the AIADMK has so far submitted a resolution declaring Palaniswami was being made the new leader of the legislative party. Let me go across to India Today's Rahul Kaval, who's getting us this exclusive. So Rahul, we're looking at a resolution which could be in favor of Palaniswami this time.
We've got big breaking news coming in at this time that the decks are being cleared for Palaniswami to take over as the next Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. The possibility of a composite floor test has pretty much been ruled out by the sources, by the legal team that's being consulted by Governor Vidyasagar Rao. India Today has been able to speak to people who are very intimately involved in the unfolding political situation in Tamil Nadu, and what we've gathered is that the original option of a composite floor test looks highly improbable now. What we've been given to understand is that what's most likely to happen is that E. Palaniswami will be asked to come in, swear in as the next Chief Minister, and then prove his majority on the floor of the House. Now, the technical hitch in this seems to be that when Palaniswamy met the governor, he apparently gave an AIADMK resolution which announced that Palaniswamy had been made leader of the new party, of the legislative party. Now, that apparently is not good enough. What the governor has told Palaniswamy is, give me the signatures of 118 plus AIADMK MLAs in the proper format, and then you will be called in to form the new government. So currently, the governor, from what we've been given to understand, is waiting for those 118 MLA signatures at the very least to be submitted to him, following which Palaniswamy is likely to be sworn in as the next Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. This is big breaking news, breaking first on India Today. After speaking to sources very closely involved in this whole process, we've been given to understand. Remember, there have been a whole series of consultations between the governor and people who've been giving him legal advice, looking at the situation very closely. It now seems that the option of making it a toss-up between Paneerselvam and Palaniswamy is pretty much ruled out, that Paneerselvam simply doesn't have the numbers, plus the technical hit of him having resigned, and therefore he's not really eligible to be part of the floor test either. Now that the AIADMK seems to still be rallying around Sasikala and that she's still in charge, it seems highly likely that Palaniswamy at some point in time, when the timing is not decided, they're waiting, as I said, for these signatures to be given. This is breaking news and breaking first on India Today.
Absolutely, Rahul. In fact, as we look at the exclusive news break that you're getting us about how Palaniswamy camp is now edging forward with the governor considering their options, the fresh round of signatures that's been ordered by the governor, you already have around 120 MLAs at the Golden Bay Resort, and that resort is being surrounded by Tamil Nadu cops at the moment. So are we looking at these signatures being taken in presence of the cops to rule out any sort of malified play by the Palaniswamy camp?
I just want to stick to what we've gathered by speaking to people very closely involved in these deliberations. I don't want to indulge in any conjecture. Now, whether this happens in the presence, absence of the police is really something for the AIADMK to look at locally. What we've been given to understand is that as of now, the advice that's been given to the governor is that there is no option. Palaniswamy has to be sworn in as the new Chief Minister, provided he's able to provide signatures of more than 118 MLAs. Now, it's correct that there are more than 118 MLAs at the Golden Bay Resort, have been for the last few days, but in the resolution that was given to the governor, these MLAs had not signed individually. There was just a resolution which said Palaniswamy is now the legislative party chief. That's not good enough according to Governor Vijayasagar Rao and according to the legal experts he's been consulting. They're waiting for these signatures to come. And aside from this, now I just want to talk about how they're viewing this unfolding situation. The sense seems to be that Sasikala still has numbers, that she may be in jail later, but she'll run the party from the jail because of the way that she's cultivated the party, given out gates, arranged for finances. The majority of the MLAs still seem to be dependent on her. Therefore, despite the expectation amongst various people that there would be a deluge, people would jump, that hasn't happened. So far, the numbers still with the Sasikala camp, and the possibility of a floor test now pretty much ruled out. At least that's the legal advice that's been given.
All right, Rahul, also do we know a time window that's been given to the Palaniswamy camp to prove their majority?
No. So it isn't as if he's been given a particular timeline. Obviously, this has to happen now at the earliest possible. The Supreme Court judgment, which was acting as a roadblock or waiting for the Supreme Court judgment, that date is over. The judgment is out. And therefore, now Palaniswamy has to come back with these signatures. Once those signatures are there, the next course of action will be for him to be sworn in as the new Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, after which he'll have to prove his majority on the floor of the House.
All right, Rahul, thanks for joining us. Also going across to T.S. Sudhir, who's with us now. It's a big news that we're sharing with our viewers. Sudhir, we've been talking about this and how the composite floor test remains a very last-minute option. It's now been put in the back burner. It is the Palaniswamy camp which is taking claim to power, which the governor is set to consider. Now, the former Attorney General Soli Sorabji, while speaking to India Today, has said the governor has at the most by tomorrow morning, so next 24 hours, when an official decision has to be announced. This limbo that Tamil Nadu government has been in needs to be resolved. What are your sources saying inside Raj Bhavan? When do we see Palanisamy camp approaching the governor with the set number of signatures?
Well, one of the legal options that was offered to Governor Vidyasagar Rao was that of a composite floor test. And I'm told by my sources in Raj Bhavan that Governor Rao was not really in favor of the composite floor test because he believed that the parallels between the Kalyan Singh Jagdambika Pal episode in UP in the 90s isn't exactly what is happening in Tamil Nadu. And so therefore the same thing cannot be replicated, because remember, while Palaniswami claims a majority of more than 118 MLAs, Paneerselvam makes no claim, makes no such claim. In fact, he does not even mention how many members, how many MLAs are actually supporting him in tangible terms. So Palaniswami obviously has to be given the first option of proving his majority. That's what Governor Rao feels, which is, and as Rahul was mentioning, once he provides the governor with the list of signatures, he would be invited to form the government for the swearing-in ceremony, and probably given very little time, which could be between 24 to 48 hours, in which to prove his majority on the floor of the assembly. That's what Governor Rao feels is the only way out of this entire impasse. Of course, the onus is on the TTV Dinakaran, who now heads the party, and KC Palaniswamy to ensure that they have all the numbers, all the MLAs coming out and supporting them even on the floor of the assembly.
But Sudhir, this is what even Sasikala was claiming, that she does have support of the majority of the MLAs. The governor was keeping cards close to his chest, waiting for the Supreme Court verdict to come out. Now that Sasikala is en route Bengaluru and Palaniswamy is the man chosen by her, with two of her proxies also being installed in the party of Dinakaran and Venkatesh, is this game over for the OPS camp?
Well, pretty much. The numbers haven't really worked out for OPS for the last 8 days. I mean, the momentum hasn't been picking up. And as we have been saying right from day 3, that many of his backers were extremely disappointed at Paneerselvam's inability to actually mobilize more numbers from the rival camp of the AIDMK. So in that sense, it's almost game over for OPS. Now, what the Palaniswamy camp has to do is also to ensure that they have the numbers in their favor. And that is going to be extremely critical. Now with Sasikala completely out of the picture, Governor Rao had an issue with Sasikala because she was facing the verdict due in a few days' time, and he believed that if she was convicted, she would not be able to get elected as an MLA, which is precisely what has happened now. So Raj Bhavan feels pretty vindicated in the manner in which it arrived at a decision. But as far as Palaniswamy is concerned, barring this latest legal police complaint which has been filed, charges of kidnapping filed against him by one of the MLAs who had escaped from there, apart from that, there is really no other legal hurdle. But Governor Rao, I am told that is even looking very closely at this particular police complaint, because he doesn't want to get embroiled in any kind of legal muddle if he actually extends the invite to Palaniswamy.
But what are the options for the OPS? Because right now it seems that it's a Palaniswamy camp which is looking at winning this battle. He is most likely to be called by the governor. The governor, as India Today sources are telling us, has decided to invite the Palaniswamy faction. The only condition right now is to get the fresh round of signatures of 117 plus MLAs to prove his majority. Although there was a composite floor test that could have given OPS a chance, that's been ruled out for the moment, as we're getting you this big breaking news that composite floor test is not an option now. So OPS looking at a sliver of opportunity with the composite floor test is now dying down for him. But could there be a last minute surprise, Sudhir? Because we've been talking about how through the lunch OPS has been meeting MPs and at least 10 MLAs that he has met. There's already cops surrounding the Golden Bay Resort where there are 120 plus MLAs present there. Could there be a last minute twist to this saga?
Well, there is very little light at the end of the tunnel as far as Paneerselvam is concerned. He does realize that he doesn't have the numbers. The only option for him is to ensure that there are some MLAs with him, which will mean that Palaniswamy falls below the 118 mark, which will mean that neither of the two, neither the Paneerselvam nor Palaniswamy will be able to form the government. Would the AIDMK want that? I have my doubts, because if many of the MLAs who are even on Palaniswami's side actually realize that the Palaniswami is going to go ahead with and forming a government. It's quite possible that a couple of them could even jump ship once again. So that's pretty much possible because none of the AIDMK legislators want a snap poll in 2017 at any cost. That's something which they are absolutely unanimous about. They all agree that they do not want to spend a fortune on yet another election within a time span of 9 to 10 months. So they will go with whichever side they think is winning at this point in time.
All right, so what are the options we're looking at right now, Sudhir, for OPS camp? Those MLAs and MPs who've jumped the ship because OPS being expelled from the party by the Sasikala camp, if the governor anoints Palaniswami as the next chief minister of the state, what are the options now for those who have jumped the ship with OPS? Is this another Janki versus Jaya war in which the OPS camp will be losing?
Well, the OPS camp, if it doesn't have the numbers, it will also attract under the provisions of the anti-defection law should they actually say that they are defecting out of the party. So that will be an option which will be a very dangerous option again for those MLAs who have got elected only last year. So would they choose to exercise that option? One would really have to wait and see. But as far as OPS is concerned, there is really, I mean, the road ahead of him looks rather bumpy.
All right, so in this battle of power, it is the Palaniswami camp, the Sasikala's choice, who seems to be winning at this point of time. Taking a short break as India Today gets you this first news that the governor has decided to call in the Palaniswami to prove the majority. It is the war for Tamil thrones which is seeing its final act. The curtain down with Palaniswami taking the victory throne. All likelihood at this moment. Taking a short break, coming right back. She almost became the chief minister of the state, but within the Tamil politics turmoil, Sasikala, after the Supreme Court verdicts, is en route Bengaluru Central Prison. A legal setback which has hurled Sasikala way back in her political ambitions as well. Now, husband M. Natarajan has arrived at Parapanna jail court premises ahead of Sasikala's arrival in Bengaluru. Ki Sasikala and Tambidurai just entered the prison premises at Parapanna as well. Special court judge along with registrar are present at the court premises inside the jail to take stock of the preparation. The court has been shifted to jail to avoid Sasikala entering the city limits. Also, we're seeing that M. Natarajan, who is estranged husband of Sasikala, arriving right now at the jail. Now, Sasikala will be serving remainder of her 4-year term here. But what's absence and conspicuous by absence is the storm of AIA DMK cadres and supporters that we saw when in 2014 Jayalalitha was sent to Bengaluru Central Prison. 22 days that she was inside the prison, her supporters had camped outside it. But there is no such support on the ground that one can see for Chinnamma. Let's go across to my colleague Nolan, who's joining us. Nolan, take us through what's happening there.
Well, as of now, it looks like she can arrive anytime soon. So because of that, in anticipation, what the police have done is now, in order to stop not just the media, but also the people, they've brought in extra police personnel. Senior IPS officers are at the spot now. Earlier on, it was just the inspectors and sub-inspectors manning outside the barricade. But now senior IPS officers have actually come because things are getting a little bit out of hand. Apart from that, we don't see too many of her supporters over here. Just that there are a lot of curious onlookers. They're not their supporters, they're localites. So there's this lot of anticipation over here at this particular spot outside, say about 200 meters from the Parapanna Agrara Central Prison.
And Nolan, as you're talking and taking us through the situation on the ground, we're given to understand that Sasikala's husband has arrived at this jail, and also Tambidurai, who's present there. Give us more information from the AIA DMK camp. Who all are there?
Absolutely. Tambidurai first arrived and he was immediately followed by Natarajan, her wife, husband, I beg your pardon. So they are now inside. They've all seated in the special court, the vacant court at the Parapanna Agrara Central Prison. Apart from that, there's a state AIA DMK leader who also arrived an hour ago. When we spoke to him, we asked him what exactly are they planning. He says that they will push forth a petition in order to seek 2 weeks relief from the court, but none of them are, they don't believe that it might happen considering what happened in the Supreme Court today, which actually stated that she must surrender immediately, and the term used was immediate and not tomorrow and not day after tomorrow. So they are apprehensive that the special judge over here will not provide them that relief. So the only option is now for Sasikala to come over here, reach here, surrender, and then let the procedure go on as normal.
And interestingly, what you're pointing out, Nolan, is how not much of AIA-DMK cadre on the ground, speaking volume about the public support that is lacking for Sasikala, always seen as an outsider and always having a tag of a politician in the making who's there to usurp the power in Tamil Nadu. And take us through the contradictions and comparisons of what happened in 2014 when Jayalalitha was convicted, sent to Bengaluru prison. There were throng of AIA-DMK supporters who camped as long as their Amma was inside the jail, which is not so for Chinnamma.
Devina, let me put it this way. I was there when she had come over here, when Jayalalitha had come over here to answer a set number of questions. B.V. Acharya was the special public prosecutor, and all that took place over here. And I've seen the number of people. Imagine, I'm talking about when she came just to answer those questions. The entire place over here was jam-packed with AIA-DMK supporters here. Their cars were here, MLAs were here. They were waving their flags, there were placards, there were posters. This was the support. And when she was brought here, when she was finally arrested, and the days after that, it was something different. But standing here today outside the Parapana Agrara Central Prison at the very same spot that the media were allowed to stand in the past few years, it's just us. It's the media, curious onlookers, the OV vans, outdoor broadcasting vans, and nothing much. So you don't have that feeling that that there's a major, big leader coming over here. She's nothing like the enigma that the late Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha was.
Thanks so much, Nolan, for joining us. So legal setback as Sasikala goes to jail for her camp, but a political victory is in sight because it's a big exclusive on India Today. We can share with you that the governor right now is considering inviting Sasikala's choice, Palaniswami, to form the government this evening. He's asking for 118 MLA signatures to be drawn afresh and submitted, post which he will invite that faction, not the OPS faction, to form the government. No composite floor test for now in the making. And that's a big exclusive that we can share with you at this point of time. Taking a short break, but coming right back with our continuous coverage from Chennai. Smita joining us next.